It's fine, I didn't need those 2 ribs.
I feel like an idiot.
What if the quantum realm's like on a person?
Coming up, MTV Movies meets the Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania cast.
It's more of a documentary than it is even a narrative film.
But if you're huge, you can step on everyone.
He's a fatherly father, he's a dadly daddy.
Well, I know about mania, but what is quantum?
Yeah. Hello and welcome to MTV Movies with me, Tyrell Charles, and the one and only Kemah Bob. Kemah, how you doing?
Hey, I'm all right.
Yeah?
Thank you for having me over, Tyrell.
Well, you're very welcome.
A
Always
lovely home you have.
welcome. Thank you. I designed it myself. In this special, we are going to be talking all things Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. So be warned, there will be spoilers in this episode. Now, first up, Hannah went to meet the cast of Quantumania, and here's how it went.
Okay, so let's talk about it. Quantum realm, define it for me.
It's the place that's so small, it's under our feet, that if we keep shrinking and shrinking, there's an entire universe down there.
Okay, on your hand, it's made up of cells, and those cells are made up of molecules, and those molecules are made up of atoms.
Yes.
What is inside the atom?
Yeah.
Protons and neutrons,
neutron-
electrons.
What is
Nucleus?
inside of them?
We don't know.
yeah.
The quantum realm. What if the quantum realm's like on a person?
Yeah. What if it's somebody's rear end?
Right. It could be.
I love this franchise. I love how dorky it is. Is it your mission to like make it as dorky as it possibly could be?
It's one of my missions, yeah. I think very early on the first movie, Paul Rudd and I were in sync about who Scott Lang was supposed to be and what the tone of the Ant-Man movies were. And we loved sort of playing in the margins of the MCU. He was a long way from being an Avenger back in those days. But it's been fun to sort of progress the characters and have them sort of be front and center in Quantumania. But yeah, you've got to keep that part of Ant-Man alive.
I think in real life, there really is a thing, there really is a quantum realm. That does exist. I don't know if it looks quite like ours, but some of the images we actually took from, quantum microscopes and things to made it look like it.
So an educational movie as well as entertaining.
Well, that's just it. I mean, and that's really why we made it. It's more of a documentary than it is even a narrative film.
And you mentioned like 90% of it is in the quantum realm, which means a lot of green screen. And I suppose as an actor, is that one of the biggest tests you can do to try and respond to things that aren't really there?
It is. You always look for feedback from your director. But the thing with green screen is oh, here it comes. And imagine now it's getting closer. No, now it's going right over your head. And there's nothing there. Or they tell you, all right, you're going to be holding this thing in your hand. And you look to your director and say, I feel like an idiot. Do I look like, no, you look fine. Don't worry, you look fine. And then you have nothing. Then you see the movie and it looks effortless.
What was your favorite bit of improv?
I remember giggling a bit when the line was in the script, he has 7 holes, and I thought, well, I think if I heard that, I would probably, in my mind, stop and see if he got the answer right and count, like, yeah, no, he's right. So I like to take that, I remember thinking, well, that is probably what would happen, and that made me kind of giggle.
Great catching up with the cast there. More to come from them shortly.
Okay, so Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania.
Yeah.
Heavy on the quantum and the mania. What were your first thoughts?
I mean, I really enjoyed this film. Quantumania was the perfect title. I think the Ant-Man movies, we're like 3 movies in now. At the beginning of this, we're catching up with Scott. He is known for he's the father. He's a fatherly father. He's a dadly daddy, and he just wants to, spend more time with his kid. But in this movie, Cassie's been poking around the quantum realm, which is the universe beneath the main universe. It's really where all the tiny little people live. But accidentally, they get dragged in. For some reason, they get sucked in, and it's because there is a man inside there called Kang, and he's trying to get out, and he needs the Ant family to help him. The title Quantumania made a lot of sense, and I didn't think it was going to.
I know, because you hear quantum and you go, okay, well, I know about mania, but what is quantum?
Yeah. It's like, it feels like they just made up a silly name for fun.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know.
How are we getting quantum?
Yeah. Now, Ant-Man Scott, as I said, he's the father. He's the kind dad that just wants to really get back to his kid. Now, Kang would lean into the daddy section. I know right now, Jonathan Majors is like the internet thirst trap. Like, everyone is on him in this.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, yeah.
The thing is, let me tell you how good this man's performance is, okay? How good this performance was, okay? Because Jonathan Majors is so moving, so attractive, you know? He really is no matter what. But somehow his acting in this film was so intense, so dark, so scary, so like tortured that it turned me off.
Interesting take.
Yeah.
I would argue that same energy turns a lot of people on, to be
And
fair.
you know, good for y'all. Y'all enjoy that. Enjoy all 50 shades of what you're doing. But I was scared a little bit, and I like that as a performance. Yeah, but I just look at Jonathan a little differently now. You know, now I know he can access some places that... Ooh, give him an award.
He's got range. As a comedian yourself, how did you find the comedy? Like, what did you think of the more lighthearted elements of the movie?
Do you know what? I appreciated them. I felt like they were like there, okay? It wasn't lacking. It wasn't lacking for that. And I'm a laugh out loud type of person, okay? I know that might not be very British, but I'm sorry.
We Brits are stern, we're quiet.
Yeah.
You might give it a big, like, ha ha ha, where we're like,
Oh, yes. Now, some people like to see movies in utter silence, and I respect that for them. But for me, when I enjoy something, I'm going to let the people know.
Well, here's more of Hannah with the cast.
Okay, huge or tiny, what would you rather be for the rest of your life?
I think tiny. I think being so huge, it would just be inconvenient. I think it would actually it would be quite a bummer. And if you're small, at least you can, hop on a plane whenever you want and go someplace else.
Yeah, 100 million times tiny.
Really?
I mean,
Paul said the same thing.
100%. Think about how much food you would have to consume on a daily basis.
If you were huge?
If you were huge. And then now there's an apocalypse. And what are you gonna do?
I want to be huge.
And if you're tiny, you can just eat one blackberry for the rest of your life and you're fine.
But if you're huge, you can step on everyone.
And what then? You're alone.
Then you have enough food.
Do you? Do you though? The question is, do you?
I don't know. I still
Is
wanna be
there enough
huge.
food?
I
in the
do
world?
appreciate that you're the outlier here, though, because everyone said small.
Everyone says small? Really? I'm the only one that says
You
big.
want to be big?
Yeah. That way you know I'm coming in.
Oh, Kathryn, we
She's
know
here.
you're coming
I'm
in.
here.
I like to get small.
And if you had the ability to shrink, what would you do in real life?
Probably peek around. Be able to, anywhere. I could see things and nobody else would know I was there. I've you know the story of the fly on the wall. I've never been the fly on the wall. Don't you always wish sometimes you hear some conversations about what people really think about you?
MODOK, just inspired. Tell me about this plot twist and how it came about.
We, as we were formulating the story, we loved the idea of, Kang felt like he needed some sort of a henchman, and how did he know a lot of the stuff about the family? MODOK has been waiting in the wings at Marvel. Like, how are you going to is it possible to introduce MODOK into the MCU in live action? And as we were writing, one night I had the ideas, and we were thinking about, like, wait a second, Darren Cross, you see him shrink down in the first movie, and you also see his arm kind of shrink down, and it hit me like, what if? And I pitched it to Stephen Broussard and to Kevin Feige, and we all got excited. Then I had to call Corey Stoll, who just assumed he died years ago and was never coming back, and pitched him the idea. And the thing you may not know about Corey is he grew up a real comic book nerd. So when I mentioned the name MODOK, he started giggling on the other end of the phone. He's like, yes, yes, yes. And I said, wait, let me finish pitching the thing. And he's like, I'm in. He was so in, and we just had to figure out schedule-wise how it could work. But that thrilled me to sort of be able to bring Corey back, to be able to realize MODOK in live action, and then kind of give him a redemption arc.
More to come from the cast soon. What a cast this was. Paul Rudd, Jonathan Majors, Michelle Pfeiffer, Michael Douglas. It just keeps going on and on.
It was giving.
Who's your favorite? What kind of standouts are you looking at?
Okay, Jonathan Majors was really doing it. Paul Rudd was really doing it.
Yeah.
But I think it really excited me to see Bill Murray. I can't even lie to you. Like, as a comedian myself, like, seeing that icon in the Marvel film was incredible.
I imagine the script just said, and then Bill Murray says something funny, and they just had to roll with
Honestly,
it.
it was so good. It wasn't chef's kiss. It was like chef's makeout.
I love
Like,
that. I love that. No, he was great. There were other like surprise appearances from like just different characters across the MCU in general. Corey Stoll, I didn't expect to show up.
To see him again.
Yeah. So he was like the main villain in the first movie.
Did he die?
We thought he died. and
Yeah,
then
because when he came, they were like, "You dead."
Yeah,
but he wasn't.
He was not.
Yeah.
He just became a really big, random deformed
Blob head.
Yeah.
with little arms and legs.
Little arms and legs.
Adorable.
It surprised me, but at the same time, I'm thinking to myself, I can imagine all of the edits people are gonna make. I guarantee by the end of this episode of MTV Movies, we will probably be tiny and just like have giant heads with little arms and little legs. You know who I also loved in this movie though? Michelle Pfeiffer.
I mean, where don't we love Michelle Pfeiffer?
This is true. They said, oh, people liked her little 1 or 2 scenes in Ant-Man 2. Let's just make her one of the main characters. She's like essential to the plot of this movie.
Powerful, had crucial information.
Yes.
Crucial knowledge.
Yeah.
And gorgeous gray hair.
Beautiful.
I loved
gray
it.
hair.
I'll say it, we can see performative acts of feminism.
Yeah.
We can.
Yeah.
Because it's not to say that that's not what that was. But they did a good job with it.
Yeah.
It's just really cool, I think, how women were represented in this film.
Do you think they were like represented like really well, from your opinion?
I don't know. Medium well.
Medium well.
I like that we did science.
This is true.
We did do science, and we care about that.
There you go. Here's some more of Hannah and the cast.
Let's talk about Bill Murray. Oh, what a joy. Tell me about shooting that day.
Well, Bill, yeah, I mean, it was a long shot. You never know. Again, there's this legend, like, how do you get in touch with Bill? Does he have an agent? You call some number and maybe someone picks up. And we given ourselves a deadline. If we don't hear back from him by this date, then we got to move on. And the night before that deadline, my cell phone rang. I was like, is this Peyton? I was like, yeah. I was like, hey, it's Bill Murray. Hey, I'm driving west on Sunset. You want to meet for a drink? And I was sitting at the table having dinner. I was like, yes, I'll meet you where? And we met and we talked, and in true Bill Murray fashion, he'd never seen a single Marvel movie. Zero interest, right? Just not his thing. But I pitched the character to him and what it was going to be. He's like, that sounds good. Yeah, that sounds cool. Yeah, let's do it.
Bill Murray. I don't think you've ever shared a screen with him. Maybe you would.
No, I've shared a lot with Bill, but not a screen.
Tell us more.
I just was with him actually just in Jamaica this last week. We were at a wedding together. It's just great to see him. He pulled in, they're having a late night party, and DJ, he still came in his bathing suit. That was all, shirt off, and wanted to do a little spinning.
I really liked the idea of putting these two alpha male guys, Michael Douglas and Bill Murray, up against each other, and discovering that Janet did have this past, and sort of like introducing the audience, well, wait, what really did happen? Is this just swagger on his part? But then she finally admits that, listen, I was here for 30 years. I had needs. I liked that idea of poking a hole in it.
So I'm sure you weren't laughing when you got absolutely pummeled by Jonathan Major.
Yeah.
Kind of think, wait, this isn't Creed 3, Jonathan.
Yeah, he was getting ready to go shoot it, but I think he was like rehearsing for that while he was fighting me.
Is it hard? Is it tough?
No, it hurts. It really hurts. And it lasted a while too. And I thought, oh my God, please fight choreography. Don't lean too far, But there were I ran into some fairly hard surfaces.
Yeah.
And I felt them. It's fine. I didn't need those 2 ribs.
We needed somebody physically imposing, and like Jonathan is classically trained, he just fit the bill. And we had so many discussions about how Kang was going to be played, but mostly like how Kang was going to be a whole different vibration in the Marvel, in the Ant-Man movies, right? Like tonally, he had to be polar opposite of Paul's Scott Lang, and that excited us. And man, he delivered.
That's all from us today. Please hit subscribe, and we'll see you back here very soon. Remember when I said they're going to do the whole big heads, little arm thing?
Yeah?
I reckon they've done it already.
Do you think it looks good?
I think so. I mean, don't get too big-headed now, but I think you look pretty good.
I think it might be too late, mate.
You're just going to have to get used to it, all right? Face it.